Hello class. Today we are going to learn about the geography of Utah. We're going to look at 3 important places in Utah using Google Earth. So go ahead and take out a piece of paper. I want you to take notes during this. Write down anything new or interesting that you're learning. You can use any kind of organizer or table to take your notes. It doesn't matter. So go ahead and get that out. The first place we're going to go is the Great Salt Lake. So over here we have it pinned, Great Salt Lake. So we'll zoom in on that. Here is a picture of a woman floating in the Salt Lake. Does it look like she's trying very hard? I don't think so. Usually people struggle a little more with floating, but she seems to be doing it really easy. And we'll talk a little bit about that later. So here's a Salt Lake. The Salt Lake we know today is the remaining portion of Lake Bonneville from prehistoric times. So the lake dried up, parts of it leaving Salt Lake, which is what we have, and other little lakes around. So the first layer we're going to use to look at is, one second, class. We're going to use water body outlines. So I have it on right now. When you move it off, it's a little bit harder to see here around where the water is and what's water in the littler places. So if we put that back on again, you can see all the rivers that are feeding into it. We can see the Salt Lake itself pretty clear. Something interesting about the Salt Lake is the Salt Lake doesn't feed into anything else. So all the water that comes into Salt Lake sits, and everything that is brought in, like the sand and dirt, and so that's brought in with the rivers, it just sits in the Salt Lake. And so that's why that lady was floating so easily. All of the salt in the water makes it's a lot easier to be buoyant in the water. So we're going to look at the size of the Salt Lake compared to Bonneville Lake from before, or Lake Bonneville. So what we're going to use is our ruler tool first, and we're going to measure we're going to pick 2 points. I think we'll go from about here to here, so the most north and south parts of this lake. And we're going to measure, here I have it set to miles, how far, or how long, I guess we're going to say, so the Great Salt Lake is. So here, if we place it down at the end, it is 75.3 or 75.47 miles. So go ahead and write that down. We're going to compare that length with the size of Lake Bonneville, or Bonneville Lake. So we are just going to clear that for now. You wrote it down, so it's like 74 miles. Now we're going to overlay a picture of Lake Bonneville. It's going to be to the same size. So let's zoom out, and I'll give you another show of that. So here I've matched it up so that it fits with the state of Utah. You can see the shape. I'm going to take it off and show you. So here is, hold on one second. Here is Salt Lake right here, and this is Lake Bonneville. All of this blue right here. So it was considerably larger. But it has dried up over time. So let's take our ruler now, same thing, measure it. So this looks about the most northern part here. And oops, let's clear that. Okay, try that one more time. Clear that, okay. And we're gonna bring it down. This looks like maybe the most southern point. And here we have 305 miles. So students, I want you to take a minute and compare the length of the Great Salt Lake to Bonneville Lake. And after you figured out how different they are, go ahead and talk to your neighbor. So that's just a little bit about the Great Salt Lake. That's it for this portion. Now we're going to go look at Bryce Canyon National Park.